Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited you're here today because we have some absolutely massive news that you're going to want to hear, especially if you or a loved one is 59 years old or older and depending on the SASSA Old Age Grant. That's right, there are some huge changes coming, and the updates are already stirring up a lot of buzz across South Africa. You won't believe the new amount that has been proposed for May 2025. It's the kind of increase that people have been hoping and praying for, and it's finally looking like the government is taking some major steps to provide real relief for seniors who have been struggling with the rising cost of living. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's get into all the exciting details because you are not going to want to miss a second of this. For years now, the South African Social Security Agency, or SASSA as we all know it, has been at the center of providing essential support to millions of citizens, and the Old Age Grant has been a lifeline for so many seniors. Every year, adjustments are made, usually just to try and keep up with inflation, but 2025 is shaping up to be a year where we see a much more meaningful change. According to reliable reports and insider discussions that have been leaking over the past few days, the Department of Social Development is rolling out a major increase that is far more generous than anything we've seen in recent memory. This isn't just a small bump, we're talking about a transformational shift that could seriously change lives for the better. Now, for those who might not be fully up to date, the SASSA Old Age Grant is intended to help seniors age 60 and older who meet specific income and asset criteria. It's designed to ensure that elderly citizens can live with dignity and have access to basic needs even when they no longer have a steady source of income. Traditionally, the grant has been adjusted each year during the budget speech, where the Minister of Finance outlines how much funding is available and what increases are possible based on the country's economic performance. This year, however, something different is happening. There's growing political momentum and social pressure that seems to have pushed officials to go further than ever before. The increase for May 2025 isn't just a matter of a few extra rands being added to the monthly payout. Based on early reports and statements from key policymakers, it looks like the new monthly grant amount could be rising by as much as $500 or more per beneficiary. That would bring the total grant from around $2,180 to nearly $2,700 a month, an absolutely massive jump compared to previous years where increases hovered around $90 to $100 at most. For seniors who have been battling the rising costs of food, electricity, healthcare, and basic living expenses, this kind of increase is truly life-changing. And it's not just the amount that's exciting, it's the reasoning behind it that's giving people real hope. Officials are citing a number of factors as driving forces behind the decision to boost the grant so significantly. First and foremost, they're recognizing that the cost of living has risen far faster than previous grant increases have accounted for. In fact, when you look at inflation over the past few years, especially in essentials like food and transport, it's clear that older South Africans have been falling behind more and more each year. This increase is an acknowledgement that seniors deserve better, and that a basic subsistence level grant isn't enough anymore. Another major factor is the upcoming elections. Let's be real, politicians are under enormous pressure to show that they care about the most vulnerable members of society, and seniors have a lot of political power because they reliably show up to vote. Boosting the old age grant isn't just the right thing to do morally, it's also a smart move politically. Multiple parties have been making promises to improve social welfare programs, and it seems the ruling party is keen to make a bold move now to win trust and loyalty heading into the next big election season. But there's also a broader, more hopeful trend that's emerging, and it's worth paying attention to. Around the world, countries are starting to rethink how they support their aging populations. South Africa is no different. Policymakers are realizing that if we want a society where everyone can age with dignity, then social support needs to be strong, reliable, and genuinely enough to live on. This May 2025 increase feels like a step in that direction, a real commitment to valuing the elders who built this country and continue to contribute in so many ways. Of course, as with any major announcement, there are still some questions that need answering. One of the big ones is whether this increase will be permanent or just a temporary boost. Early indications are very promising. According to sources close to the decision-making process, the government is planning for this to be a permanent adjustment to the baseline grant amount, not just a one-time bonus. That means seniors will be able to count on the new, higher amount each and every month going forward, which provides the kind of stability and predictability that is so crucial when you're living on a fixed income. Another important detail involves eligibility. Thankfully, it looks like the existing criteria for the old age grant aren't going to change. That means that if you're already receiving the grant, or if you're about to turn 60 and meet the income and asset requirements, you'll be eligible for the higher amount without needing to reapply or jump through any new hoops. SASSA has also committed to making the transition as smooth as possible, automatically adjusting the payments starting with the May 2025 cycle. Let's also talk about timing, because that's something a lot of people are asking about. When exactly will the new payments start hitting bank accounts? Based on the rollout plan that's been outlined, the increased amounts will start being paid out in early May 2025, aligned with the regular SASSA payment schedule. So if you usually receive your old age grant during the first week of the month, you should expect to see the new, higher amount reflected in your account right on schedule. There's no need to visit SASSA offices or submit any additional paperwork unless you're updating your banking details or other personal information, which should always be kept current to avoid any payment delays. It's also worth noting that this increase isn't happening in isolation. The government is also investing more into related support services, like expanding access to affordable healthcare for seniors, increasing the availability of subsidized housing options, and improving transport systems to help older citizens get around more easily and safely. All of these initiatives are part of a broader commitment to making South Africa a better place to grow old. When you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, it really feels like we're entering a new era of respect and support for our elders, and that's something we can all celebrate. Now, let's address another big question that's on everyone's mind: where's the money coming from? How is the government able to fund such a large increase, especially when the economy has been under so much pressure? Well, the answer is pretty interesting. A combination of stronger than expected tax revenues, better management of public spending, and some tough choices about reallocating funds from less critical projects has opened up space in the budget to prioritize social grants. Additionally, there's been a major push to crack down on corruption and waste in the social development sector, which has freed up billions of rand that can now be directed toward programs like the Old Age Grant, where they make a real difference. Experts are cautiously optimistic that the increase is financially sustainable, especially if the government continues to focus on growing the economy and expanding the tax base. In other words, this isn't just a short-term political stunt, it's a long-term investment in the well-being of the country's aging population. Economists are pointing out that when seniors have more money in their pockets, it actually stimulates the local economy because they spend it on goods and services in their communities. So, this move could have positive ripple effects far beyond just the immediate recipients. Still, there are some concerns being raised. Some financial analysts worry that if the economy takes a downturn or if government revenues fall in the future, it could become harder to maintain the higher grant levels. Others are urging policymakers to make sure that the increased grants are matched with improvements in service delivery, especially in rural areas where access to basic health care, transport, and food can still be a major challenge. These are valid points, and it's going to be important for citizens to stay engaged, ask questions, and hold leaders accountable to ensure that the promises made today are kept tomorrow and beyond. But for now, there's no denying that the news is overwhelmingly positive. Seniors across the country are expressing joy, relief, and gratitude at the announcement. Many are sharing stories of how the extra money will help them cover medical expenses, buy healthier food, make home repairs, or simply enjoy a few of the comforts and dignity they've earned after a lifetime of hard work. Community groups are planning celebrations, churches are organizing special prayers of thanks, and social media is lighting up with heartfelt messages from families who know just how much this will mean for their loved ones. This increase also sends an important message about the kind of society we want to be. It says that we recognize the value of our elders, that we honor their contributions, and that we're committed to ensuring that no one is left behind in their later years. It's about more than just money, it's about respect, dignity, and compassion. And in a world that often feels increasingly divided and challenging, it's moments like this that remind us of what really matters, taking care of each other and building a future that's fair and just for all generations. So, if you or someone you love is receiving the SASSA Old Age Grant, make sure you're ready for May 2025, because this is going to be a game changer. Check your payment details, stay informed through official SASSA communication channels, and spread the word to make sure everyone who's eligible knows about the increase and can plan accordingly. And if you're not yet receiving the grant but will be turning 60 soon, it's a good idea to get your paperwork ready so you can apply and start benefiting from the new, higher amount as soon as possible. As always, I'll be here keeping you updated on every new development, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a thing. And if you found today's news as exciting as I did, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with friends and family. Let's spread the word and celebrate this incredible win together. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, take care and stay blessed.